Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, who you saw at your gym, he recently divorced his wife of like 27 years or something. Word on the street is he's dating Anthony from Queer Eye. Anthony is a boy.
Oh, Matt from Yes Theory.
Oh, the Yes Theory house in Venice, California. Constantly, people are coming through their house. He was stuck between like, what's YouTube persona versus what's Matt in real life? They have to be the same.
He basically just got caved in on. He just couldn't handle the heat.
Welcome to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about smart nonsense. It's what we do.
Yippee-yay.
Yippee-yay, Pop. What's the date? Hang on. December 7th. We've entered December.
That sounds eerily close to when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor.
Is it?
I don't know. I've been watching the Pacific, and it kind of...
So that's where he is at. When he's not posting podcasts, he's watching the Pacific. December 7th, 1941. You nailed it.
Really?
Pop. You nailed it.
Dude. Wait,
God bless
crazy.
America. It's not that crazy if you're spending all your time watching the Pacific.
Well, they don't have dates or anything. It's just like the events are in my mind. So I was thinking like, oh, when was that? Well, I shouldn't have said I'm watching the Pacific. It makes it sound less impressive, but that was out of a hat, dude. 1 out of 365. But really 1 out of 5 because I knew it was early December. Because I'm a beast, dude. You want to know what else?
Give it.
I got a couple thoughts.
Yeah.
But one I really got to get off my chest is Matt from Yes Theory.
Ooh, good pod. Good pod.
He was...
it's also on my chest. It's all over my chest. Rubbed it in.
Right.
Rubbed it in. Get
there's...
it off. Get it
well,
off. What's the problem?
What happened is, for context, Yes Theory was basically this YouTube channel that blew up really fast, just doing all these like cool, I'm going to spend 24 hours meeting strangers, like just like get out of your comfort zone things. They grew to like God knows how many millions of subscribers within like a year or two. And it was these like 4 friends. But then like one of the friends, this guy, Matt, he basically just got caved in on. He just couldn't handle the heat. And he just like dropped off the channel for a while. And so now he had this pod with Mark Manson and also dropped a book.
Book's great.
I didn't read the book yet.
I got thoughts on the book.
But he just got railed, dude. He was just like... He never really figured out himself because he was like a fresh college grad, got into this just absolute crazy rocket ship of like putting himself out there. And he really didn't even want to do this stuff because he's like introverted. So he's like, I don't really want to do these challenges. And then like I put on this fake persona for the challenges, but then like the real me is not who's in the videos. And then people expect that. And then I got to like live up to those expectations. And like my whole life is fake. And who the fuck am I? It's like, well,
nailed it.
It still hasn't figured it out. And it's been like 10 years.
Well, what was interesting too is he's like at the Yes Theory house in Venice, California. Because they're Yes Theory and that's their YouTube thing, it's just like constantly people are coming through their house, just like guests. Like, hey, meet this person. Hey, meet this person. Hey, meet, like constant. And yeah, he was stuck between like what's YouTube persona versus what's Matt in real life. They have to be the same. He was fucked.
Well, I have this... One, I had it with Bold Introvert back in the day.
Roll.
No, dude, that's the one thing I don't share with any girl I ever see. I'm like, you're not gonna see my Peru video because then you get the channel. But that was like really for a video. Like if you're putting out 1 video a week, which I think they were doing something like that, or maybe a couple, but like you really only need to be like acting for like 2 hours. It's like you go out, you shoot your scenes. Maybe you do this 24-hour challenge, but that's like 1 day a week. And the rest is like an editing. So that's not the real you. But the whole world thinks that's the real you. And it's different from like Hollywood acting where like people assume you're in character in Hollywood. But this is supposed to be like your genuine personality. So it just really fucked with his head. But I can see that because I'm like, I'm not really the bold introvert. I just want to fucking stay in my clamshell. Clamshell, dude. Fuck, I'm a clam. But it doesn't seem
a pearl,
like that
maybe
based on the video. Yeah, no, for sure.
It's a pearl. He also had this addiction from the get-go to the numbers. refreshing, the metrics, the views, because that was all tied to his identity. And he said this interesting thing on the Mark Manson pod. He was like, um, we, us, the 4Yes Theory guys, we got to success so quickly that he was like, I literally can't empathize with other people trying to do it, because like in our case, like it was really easy. Like I can't empathize.
Right.
And I was listening to that and I was like, based on our journey, I cannot empathize with like how much of his identity is tied to YouTube. I'm like, and I
Mm.
think we care so little about like the comments and judgment from others and like all of that. So like I couldn't empathize with that part of his journey, which I thought was interesting. Um,
Well, it's
yeah,
weird
he got
because
clobbered. The book's great. It's
I
like the stories are
oh, he's
really,
wrapping
really
it up
good.
already.
No, nope.
No,
Unwrap.
no.
Unwrap the
Fuck,
present.
your scotch tape, dude. Fuck, roll that short. Um, oh, yeah,
How
this
does
is like
tape work?
one thing. I don't want to like think that we're better than people, but I feel like we've had so much free time because our like money machine has been really hands off and also not tied to our content at all, that like we can kind of be philosophers throughout the whole process. So like
Oh.
I've been very conscious about like not looking at stats or comments or like trying to care about it way too much. Like I'm naturally competitive, so like I did like seeing numbers, but like it doesn't really matter. So I just like checked out of that game because I'm like, I don't want to be like Matt. Like I could see that, and just like every creator talks about this.
When I
It's just
almost
like
was, I went the
you're
whole
getting hits.
lifestyle vlog
Oh
route,
yeah.
and it was like life and YouTube persona, like they were the same. Now with our content style, it's like, I don't want to say none of our identities in it, but it's like 30 seconds of like our writing. You know, it's like from one extreme to
Well,
the other, what we're doing now is just like so little of us being online that I love it.
yeah. Yeah, versus like a 20-minute Yes Theory video where it's like them. But yeah, I think this is like it kind of gets to, well, I think the big important thing is like we don't check the numbers, and then like we don't rely on the numbers, which is like Colin and Samir talk about this a lot with all their creators that they talk to. It's like, hey, when your income is based on getting a brand deal, and now you have like, especially when you're growing a team, your team is now dependent on your brand deals and your AdSense and like views keep going up. Like if that drops, then you're fucked. So that just creates like absurd stress. We kind of joke about like the YouTubers in New York that I like that are just like vlogging about dumb shit every day. It's like that must really suck. Like granted, like the money they make is all profit because they don't have a team, they're editing themselves, but like you got to come up with stuff that has to hit each time. It's just like Mark Manson was basically like, hey, you just got to figure out how to make money outside of content. Make money elsewhere, and then like the content you can like maybe supercharge it or like just make it totally separate, kind of like ours. That's kind of like beginning to cross the chasm, but it's like you don't want that ball of stress that's just reliant on views.
He's a ball of stress. Because then what do those lifestyle people go do? They go post on their IG stories like, hey, gonna be filming in Chicago. Anybody have content ideas? It's like,
right. Right. It's kind
I
of like,
had that pressure of like waking up every day and being, when I was doing vlogs, waking up and being like, what am I gonna shoot today? And that sucked. Every
right.
day it's just like Sisyphus. Like you're starting at the bottom of the mountain and you're gonna figure out like, what the heck story am I gonna tell today?
That's why I kind of like, I have a gripe with everyone that's like, life should be struggle. Because I'm like, you could, I don't want to like get too fucking grand here, but like you could do the daily vlog thing and like maybe that takes off, but you're still stuck in the same hamster wheel of like, you got to do this. And then like, I think our dream world a couple years ago was like, hey, let's make money through podcasts and YouTube and we'll do what we love doing forever. But it's like, you don't want that. You don't want that at all. There are other ways to do it, like our shorts, for example. It's like we never run out of content ideas. It takes almost none of our time outside of like just the research. Dude, I'm sorry with the
Let's talk about the text you just got. The YouTube Studio YouTube's photo.
They're pinging value. They're like, hey, dude, it's not that hard to post. Can you just like stay consistent and not be special? But I am. But like relatively speaking, the lift is a lot lower and it's a lot more fun because the bulk of that lift is just like researching things. Um,
The lowest.
so I kind of
The lowest.
my grand point is like I think people just like are used to assuming you have to struggle for everything in the world. It's like no, you're just struggling because you haven't thought through other options that are a lot easier to do.
Yeah, you're really good at doing that, Pop. You're really. I was on the struggle bus.
Um, right, and now
You
you
were
take
telling
that
me.
like
You were telling me
that
from
grit.
episode 1, episode 5. You're like, dude, you have to do this, dude. Did you ever think about this? You're like,
For
you're
the vlog.
yeah. You're just like you're just applying. You're like you're getting no leverage doing this thing that's really hard. How about you do this?
Well, that's why I think it's the superpower when you take everything that you've learned. Like if you could struggle doing that bullshit content for years and years and just apply that to the right formula, then it's a fucking supercharged to the moon.
That's why I just
But
hit 1 billion views
that's
today.
crazy, dude.
Today,
That's actually crazy. So your
me
dad
not.
must have been checking the stats if he knew.
He was. Yeah, he
He's
was.
got the back end, huh?
He's got the back end. He's on it. Wano.
Uh, so yeah. Well, this is kind of like the Palmer Lucky point of I think he's basically like you shouldn't follow your dreams because most kids' dreams suck nowadays. It's like become a YouTuber, but that's just like I even texted you. I'm like, I'll see these YouTuber parties because of all the people I follow. I'm like, I can't identify with any of them because I'm just like not an
Making
artist or like
videos. Oh.
I don't know. I just like I don't really care about making videos. Like I like looking at our animations because they're like fun and stuff, but I don't know. I I don't know. Like
You want to teach? Yeah, I don't know.
I think it,
I don't know.
well, do you like I don't do you like the actual video part of YouTube?
The actual video part.
Like
I
I don't
kind
know.
of like.
I just get
I
confused. Like the entertainment part, I don't give a shit about. When it's just like pure entertainment, I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know. I
Maybe
do.
that's it.
I like the music and the tone you can create and the
But
storytelling. I don't know. I do like it.
I just don't like. I see YouTubers and I'm like, we're not the same person.
Yeah. You're like that engineering guy. You and him, you and him would do really good together.
The guy that does the book
Yeah.
pitch at the end.
I'm,
I love his shit.
I'm
His
Bob,
shit's
the
really
engineering guy. Wait, I want to talk about product really quick. Because so Matt just dropped this book, Talk to Strangers. I'm reading it. I actually like can't put it down. It's so good. I think like
Oh,
the
wow.
stories, I didn't know them. How the whole thing happened is like really crazy. It's a great book. They have a counter on their website for how many books they've sold. And they're trying to get to 50,000 copies sold. I want to talk about the
It's
numbers
gonna
really
help
quick.
with his extrinsic motivation problems.
Right. And when he get to 50,000 sold, he's supposed to do a backflip or something on camera. Right. Make it extrinsically motivated on his way out from Yes Theory. But I was talking to this guy at one of these meetups we were at,
Sounds
and he
like a Cliff thing.
wrote a pretty famous book, The Creative Curve or something,
Not that
entrepreneurship
famous,
book.
huh?
You know, big enough where it's got hundreds or thousands of reviews on Amazon. He told me he makes like $4 a hardcover book. And I'm seeing
Right.
on Yes Theory, they've sold 17,000. So I'm just like, okay, you do the math, it's like 60, 70 grand.
Yeah.
It's nice, but he spent 2 years on this book. If they
Well,
get to 50,000 copies, it is 200 grand, but I'm just like, doesn't seem great
that's
to me.
even like so. One of our entrepreneur buddies, like he sold his company, probably makes a lot of money. Yeah, I'm guessing he's worth like 50. I don't know, tens of millions of dollars. But he has a friend at NBC, and they're like, "Hey, our NBC YouTube channels suck ass. Like, would you want to come on our channels and like make whatever shows that you want to make, smart nonsense related?" And it's like, I don't know, like whatever offer they give, it's just like, I don't know. I don't want to. It'd be like what? Pay us a couple $100,000 to like make videos on your channel and maybe rev share, and it's like, it just sounds like
You're never going,
so unappealing.
nobody is ever going to value you as much as yourself. That's like a
Right.
sentiment we took from the get go. And I just kind of like see it playing. Like we have a lot of trouble doing strategic partnerships with people. Probably us problem. But I just think it's interesting. It's just like our ambitions for self, and I think this would be other entrepreneurs as well, is like so much higher than
Yeah.
what others would think. So it's like
It's
it, the NBC thing is interesting because Yes Theory did launch their career off of Snapchat Discover
well,
shows.
that's where it was like I listened to them talk about this and like, yeah, Snapchat totally started this all for us. They give us $50,000 for 3 months and we could do whatever we want. I'm like, dude, that wouldn't pay for our team for 1 month.
Well,
Like
yeah,
it's
at
just
this
like we've
point,
kind of like gone above that. Like that's our personal team. Like so it's like you kind of got to do that in the early days. Like once you're beyond that, then like that money just seems like chump change, especially when you're like, I don't know, you just have a company and you see big inflated numbers. Like anytime someone offers you like, hey, yeah, we'll pay 20 or 50 grand a month. It's just like, that's
yeah.
doesn't really change much.
In
It's
their
probably a good
case,
thing.
yeah, in their case, they had like a couple thousand YouTube subscribers. They had no money coming in. They had no plans for the summer. Amar was like 21. So they
Right.
got 50 grand, a house in Venice, California, and access to hundreds of millions of people on
Right.
Snapchat.
Which I'm trying to
Killer.
like, what's that? Like,
Oop.
the thing that
Zoop,
fucking
the
erases
zapper
your
in
memory.
The Matrix.
And yeah, if it were us when we were like sleeping on the floor in Chicago and someone just dropped 50 grand on our head and was like, just fucking make videos, that'd be the craziest thing ever. And we'd be like, oh yeah, we just have Kent for like $500 a month and we just rip videos constantly. But like once you get beyond that, it's kind of like I'm reading Die with Zero or like watching some Die with Zero stuff again because it's one of my favorite books and it's been like a year or so.
You're going to die with zero this year, Pop. With those tax obligations you got?
Watch out, dude. The fucking pod.
Zero in 23.
No, I'm challenging that. I got to figure that out. But I do have a beach. So like Die with Zero, it's basically talking about the sequence in life. And I texted this morning as I was listening to it because it's like really like how many backpacking, like basically his biggest regret. The author, what's his name? Die with Zero. Bill Perkins. He was like his number one regret was right after college he didn't go on a backpacking trip for like a year with his buddy who wanted to do it. Because he's like, now I'm not going to do backpacking now. I'm like bougie as fuck and I'm 50 years old. It's like that's just not something that can ever happen in my life again. So kind of I see the same with like our friend group. Like most of our friends aren't adventurous, but like you, me, Tomas, it's like we have this small period left where we can do things. This is also why I got all flustered. I'm like, Belky, please just move to New York for like a year or two before like you go back to your family. I lost that battle. It'll never happen, but that's fine.
Sequence.
But like the adventure sequence is there's still potential there. So I'm like, hey, we got like 3 more years to really do this.
It's really true too, because we're only we're 4 years out of college now, but like I won't stay in hostels anymore. I just won't do it. It's like you can't go back. I'll tent camp all day long, but like I will not go and be in a 9-person dorm. I just won't do it.
Yeah.
But that's a very fun thing to do. But we have now, we're 26, 27. It's like we're just not going to do that. So it is interesting how things change.
So that's why I'm it's honestly one of my favorite books, but like trying to cram that in because it's kind of like the lowest common denominator too. It's like our other friends aren't going to do this. They just like can't take the time off or wouldn't want to. But like
I don't know.
3,
by the way, I don't know how Tomas does. He's MD PhD. Somehow finds time.
Right. He should be the one like the actual limiting factor. But he's fun as fuck, so he'll do whatever. And he doesn't make any money, so I don't know like how he affords it.
He makes like 30 grand a year stipend, MD PhD, and he's just like, sign me up.
Right. Well, that's why we got to do it too before. Well, he'll start making money at some point, but like we're still okay with like his lowest common denominator of like housing. Like our friends right now are trying to do a ski trip, and they're like, "Hey, can we do something in like the East Coast? Because flying to the West Coast is kind of expensive." And it's like, fuck, boys, can we just like ball out? Because like, how many trips a year do you have? Like, we have like one sick trip with the boys. So it'd be nice to do that, but So okay.
No, that was a great thread. That was a great thread. I'm with
Um,
you. I'm worried about your die with zero mentality this year.
why?
Because I saw your W2 and
Well,
well, I guess
I
you're
might
doing
need
it
an
right.
advance. I'll tell you that. um, I don't know which is the more important point. So okay, I'll throw a couple threads out here.
Yeah, give me
One
one final
is
choice.
one is plagiarism.
Oh,
Um,
that's a good
Another
one.
is I had Sean talking about like online courses and how they're fucked unless you have
Oh, that's a
an
pretty good
actual
one.
business.
That's a pretty good one.
Um, yeah, I really
Because I
only
just
had
have
two.
Element, the salt drink.
Oh, talk about that because I don't like going off my threads. I want a surprise.
Oh, that's a surprise for me too.
Oh, I did talk
Um,
to a friend yesterday. I saw him at the gym that I go to fucking once a month,
yeah.
and thankfully that lease is coming up, and I'm not going to renew that.
Oh,
Oh, but he was saying he really likes the business pods because there's no one else our age talking about this stuff.
that's good.
Um,
Do you tell him we hate him sometimes?
yeah.
uh, you were telling me something in New York about how. So here's what we got to get straight because we're Naval Ravikant's sons, right? And so we apply all the same principles as him. One such principle is probably like the sunk cost fallacy, which we talk a lot about on here, especially the sunk cost fatty fallacy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you were telling me that almost every single night before going to bed, you
No.
think about the lease
Oh.
you have at that gym. And you had been
Oh.
doing that for 9 months.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Naval, Dylan Ravikant, why didn't you break the lease 9 months ago? You're stressing about this every night?
I think about it a lot, way too much.
And then last week you're like, I got to use the hot tub. I just have to. It's 20 degrees outside. So you bike over and you send me a picture from inside this hot tub. Saddest YMCA hot tub I've ever seen. And you're like, what am I doing?
Dude, I like literally take half an hour there and back through the freezing cold. It's like snowing out. I get to this place. I go and sit in this YMCA hot tub for 10 minutes and then I go home. I'm like, why did I just sunk cost myself into one, coming here in the first place, but two, having the fucking lease? But
I got one more
see
thread.
friends.
Yes, like Hugh Jackman, who I've got tea for the Smart Nonsense podcast. This is rare.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm getting into gossip lately. It's actually kind of fun. That's
gossip
actually
is
another
important.
thread. Sean was just talking about gossip on My First Million. Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, who you saw at your gym, he recently divorced his wife of like 27 years or something.
Really?
Word on the street is he's dating Anthony from Queer Eye. Anthony is a
Means nothing
boy.
to me. Oh,
Now it means something to him. Yeah, the rumor is
Dude.
Hugh Jackman left his wife for a man, and that man is on the show Queer Eye. Great show.
accurately.
You heard it here first, if it's true.
I remember I got in a lot of trouble with some Brown friends because I was saying a guy, this soccer player, Mbappe or whatever, supposedly rumors were he was dating a once man transitioned to female. So it's technically he was dating a woman, but like that was a man. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know he was gay. Like he's not gay. I'm like, he's gay. And,
Oh. The 24th minute of the Smart Nonsense podcast.
It was
I don't
really
know how that.
contentious.
Yeah, I don't know how that one works.
And my friends ended up agreeing with me, but they didn't want to fight that fight, so they just left me. They just kind of laughed and were like, "No, Dylan's really stupid. He's obviously not gay." And I'm like,
listen to
gay.
the last episode if you want to know how those go down. Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Like if you dated Caitlyn
sounds-
Jenner, you would be straight. I'm like,
Sounds kind of gay.
it's hazy, but I mean,
It's hazy.
sometimes
hazy.
that's why you don't want me in the gossip realm because I'll start arguing those things and turn into
Right.
Ben Shapiro.
Hang on. Science corner.
Didn't you have like a soft drink or something? What the
Yes,
fuck was
Science Corner is what it is. So I was listening to Tim Ferriss, and he was plugging this drink mix called Element, LMNT. Oh, actually, I wasn't listening to it. I was reading Tim's like gift guide for 2023, a blog post. And what Tim was saying is he has this habit of when he's on his computer working all day, he's just like constantly drinking something to the point where he's getting overhydrated. And I was like, whoa, me too. I'm just like constantly doing work, drinking stuff. I'm thirsty all day long. All day long.
I had a realization I'll add on to this after. But yeah.
I'm almost done. I thought this was interesting because Tim says, yeah, like you can get overhydrated where you basically drink so much that you're diluting the electrolytes in your body. And so they're like not working for you. Element is a drink mix of like salt and potassium and magnesium. And you pour it in your drink, whatever. I did it and I'm not thirsty anymore. And so I thought that was interesting. Now I just have like the one Element drink in the morning, and I'm not thirsty anymore. So if you're out there and you're overhydrating, you might be, Pop. I see you carrying around a water bottle everywhere you go, like a little kid.
No, this was my realization. One, it's really cool that you buy any products that podcasters recommend.
I'll try them.
I hope our listeners do too, because we have a really expensive product that we're about to launch soon. Because we copy other websites. We're not going off that thread.
You're bad, dude.
What I realized
Negative Nelly.
is I get most of my water through food. So like today,
wasn't expecting that.
Today I treated myself.
He's a camel.
Because last night I'm like, Dylan, if you don't go out to the little bodega at 1 a.m., I'm gonna let you go to Trader Joe's and get some fruit.
What did we say about sunk cost patty on this podcast?
I know, but I've been good. I've been good because the scale, as we were talking about, like the scale was going up, my daily weights. And so I need to get that down. And I'm like, Dylan, I'm going to treat you tomorrow. Just fucking pull it together for one night. And so I didn't actually, that worked last night. The night before I ate a bunch of Jack's chocolates and stuff. I actually don't know if you noticed. It was like,
that's his roommate. That's his roommate that doesn't know.
It's like from his birthday, like 2 weeks ago or whatever. So it's just been like a cake in there, or not even like a cake. Well,
all those candies, I saw those.
Oh, I ate all those. All of them. Like the whole box. Like you went on vacation, came back, and the box is gone.
Well, I was there. I was like, oh, candies. Like, can I have some? And you're like, no, they're Jack's.
I ate them all. You didn't have a single one. So I had to throw the whole box out. I threw his whole cake box out, and then like his whole other chocolate thing. I basically ate all his sweets, but I'm pretty sure they could have been up for grabs. I don't know. It was kind of undecided.
They were in the windowsill, so.
Right. Yeah. Well, point is, last night I was good. Not the night before with the Jack chocolates, but last night I was good. So I went and I just bought a shitload of fruits this morning. And I came here with my sweet green, and like I realized I didn't drink any water today. I've just been eating all my fruits because I get like, I don't know, $20-$30 worth of fruits, and I get all my water through there. But it also comes with like 200 grams of sugar.
Yeah, I was gonna say fruits are not good for you.
Right. So that's part of the problem. So I haven't had any of this water bottle that I've just been carrying around all day.
Yeah, there he is.
I'm not thirsty. I just eat more mango. That's it, dude. We're just the weight loss podcast. Gardaloo. Fuck, where's the business?
Dude, it's like when all things used to lead to dating, and now they just lead to sunk cost fatty.